Hey, hey.
Did you fall asleep?
You fell asleep, didn't you?
Did you fall asleep?
Of course, I took a nap. But I'm here.
Fell asleep. This guy fell asleep.
But I'm here.
What do you say? BackSpace nerds to the movies.
To the movies, baby.
I'm so tired right now. It's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock.
We're gonna see Spider-Man 3D.
My treat.
Wow.
Because my space. I'm so tired.
Welcome everybody. BackSpace nerds to the movies. What are we doing today? It's 3D time, baby.
BackSpace nerds to the movies, giving the latest reviews, ratings from nerd glasses to pocket protectors, giving in-depth opinions. BackSpace nerds to the movies.
3D time. What movie did we review today, Bobby?
Spider-Man, No Way Home.
So thanks to Sandy. Sandy purchased us some tickets. We're gonna get into our reviews, but
Quick question, right? Before we get to reviews, I'm a bit confused now, right? So I'm not sure how you got the tickets. They were pretty much sold out throughout the city. But I also heard something about it not playing regularly in theaters.
oh, so you heard that they're gonna stop showing them in theaters?
Yeah, I heard that they're going to eventually stop showing shorter than what was anticipated, and they're going to stream it.
I did not know that.
Well, just count your blessing. We did it 3D, and it was the first time we met in real life.
Okay.
We've never met before.
Yeah,
We've
just
never
disregard
seen
all the
each other
convention.
outside of this circle.
We met online, and it
Weird.
worked out well. But you guys were shorter than I thought.
Disregard all the convention videos prior.
Yeah. Together, socially responsible, by the way. 3D Spider-Man, No Way Home. Go around the room. We're going to start with Sandy, then Bobby, then myself. We're going to do our normal ratings. I think Sandy will continue to do nerd glasses, and we'll do pocket protectors. Sandy, why don't you tell us a little bit about Spider-Man, No Way Home, your thoughts?
Can we, can I do mine last?
What do you mean? That's the order we always do it.
Well, from what I've seen, it's pretty good. You know what the best is? The leather seats are fully heated
So everybody
and
will be sleeping.
reclined.
Warning, we might not be able to see the movie.
Yeah, everybody will be sleeping.
The seats were heated.
I was tired. So, I mean, the audience gonna hate me for this, but I fell asleep. I don't know, collectively, maybe 45 minutes out of the 2.5 hours for watching the movie. Like, in my defense, right, the movie started at 11:45 p.m. We didn't get out of there until 2 a.m. I was really tired. I don't know why, but my attention span is really bad. Anything more than an hour and a half, I fall asleep for at least 5-10 minutes. With Spider-Man, I fell asleep for about 45 collectively. Let me do my review. I think it was a really good movie. I would give it 4 out of 5. And
Wow.
this sounds very typical of me, but it's not so much the movie, but what went behind the scene. You know, Tom Holland and what's her name? Zendaya, they're actually dating in real life. I really love that.
Love story.
What's that guy's name? The bad guy with the...
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, the bad
Green
guy.
Goblin.
Well, he's kind of old, right? Whether CGI or fight scene was amazing towards the end. He looked energetic for someone who's a little bit older, right? Was confused when I woke up a couple of times. I had to nudge Anthony and ask what happened to the mum, and then I realized, well, he told me that it's not his mum, it's his aunt. May Parker. I miss how she died. Doctor Strange was doing his thing and the building was like moving around. That reminded me of Inception. So that got me confused even more. Nostalgia, you know, with the 3 Spider-Men together, that was pretty cool. I recognized Tobey Maguire. I didn't know Andrew Garfield was another Spider-Man. I guess I was asleep for those years when he was the Spider-Man, because I had no idea. I thought it just went from Tobey Maguire to Tom Holland. I had to Google it afterwards because I thought during the movie that Andrew Garfield, that's his name, right? Andrew.
Yep.
I thought he was going to be a future Spider-Man. That's why everybody in the audience was like, oh, we're anticipating who's going to be the next Spider-Man after Tom Holland. But I didn't realize he was the in between. Anyway,
Fanboys are crying everywhere.
Oh man, the tears are down.
I really liked it. I think it went a little bit too long. They could have condensed that into an hour and a half movie. I would have thoroughly enjoyed it more. But I think for the diehard fans out there, it feels like it's been a long time, the last Spider-Man. So it kind of had to go this long just for the diehard fans out there. So I would give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 nerd glasses.
Because they're in a relationship.
Oh man,
That's it? So if they didn't have a relationship, would it be 3 out of 5?
I'm sure it
No,
would.
I wanted them to be in a relationship in real life, and I'm glad they are. And now Tim Holland has come out and said, you know, he's happy to retire. I really love that. I think I enjoyed it more.
They had talked to Tom Holland and Zendaya, and they told them not to kind of fall for each other, you know, because they do the movie thing. And they said the same thing to Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield were a couple from the last Spider-Man movie because they were a couple in the movie. And the cast director or whoever it was, producer, told them, don't do it. And then they did it. And then they fell apart and they broke up and all this other stuff. And so they were telling Tom Holland the same thing. But a lot of times what happens in movies is you do false presence of love and liking or whatever. And then you start to fall for each other. And then you come in a relationship, and then after a while it sort of breaks apart because you realize you're dating the real person, not the character.
I don't know, it was kind of funny in the movie. I couldn't see that romance chemistry, a lot of that in the interviews. It was really cute, but in the movie I didn't see the romantic chemistry there. I mean, I wanted to give it a 3.5, to be honest with you, but
Love made another half appear.
I wonder if they forced themselves not to show it so much on screen because they are a couple, right? Like
Sandy gives it a 4 nerd glasses out of 5. Bobby Torres, what is your take on this film?
I have to put something out there first, right? You got Tobey Maguire, yeah, you got Tom Holland, but my new favorite Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield.
Wow.
I mean, I think he made up. He first arrived to the screen. The audience went mad, right? And I felt like his response was even bigger than Tobey Maguire's response because the audience saw Tobey Maguire, probably thought that he looked old. One thing I can state for sure is that Andrew Garfield looked the same. He didn't look any different, right? So, and even though I believe he has aged, he just looked the same. And forget about, I mean, everyone knows the youngest person who played in that movie. I mean, you could agree with this. It's Molina. Doc Ock looks exactly the same. Isn't this man like 55? Like
he's older, probably.
Is he the same guy I'm talking about?
No, he's talking about Dr. Octopus.
Yeah, Alfred Molina. Like he's
just saying how young he looks compared to
the same.
He looks the same to the other films.
Yeah, like and he, I love the fact that they brought all the characters back. I was wondering how they were going to make sense of it. They did a great job making sense of it. This whole multi-universe that they did, I think they executed it very well. For some reason, I wanted to say serververse. Why? Whatever.
God.
Some of the pace was really quick. In the beginning, I thought it was slow, and then I felt like it was too fast. But then when they started to get into the heart of the story and they were exposing the layers of the multiverse and you started seeing some of the villains, pop up. Jamie Foxx was great as Electro. I love the fact that they surged his electricity. You would see remnants of the original costume, or like the silhouette of the original costume of Electro.
Did not notice that.
That was extremely cool for anyone who knows the comics. I was like, wow, like
I did not notice that at all.
So you'll see it, and some of the narrative was a bit punny, like a pun here, pun there, pun here. Really enjoyed this movie. I loved it. I have to agree with Sandy. The fight scene at the end with Green Goblin was awesome, and Dafoe was awesome. Like he was a great. He stole the movie. He was awesome. Toby, they didn't give him his flowers, right? I felt like they didn't do him justice.
Flowers. Wow.
Yeah. They didn't do him justice. There was a scene that Green Goblin, impaled him, right? With this massive like knife that came out of his hand. It was like, okay, he's dead. This man is not going to survive it. They laid him flat on the ground. One person started holding him. They're like, he's a goner, right? And then you think that there's going to be some supporting narrative to what's going on, and then 2-3 minutes later, it's not the first time I got stabbed. I mean, like what were you building up? But they didn't give him his flowers. They didn't give him his just due. I think they could have did better with them, but it could just be because he didn't look like Spider-Man anymore. He didn't look like Peter Parker. If I had to rate it, I'm going to agree with Sandy. I'm going to give it a 4.
Boom.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Wow. So Bobby Torres gives it a 4 out of 5. Pocket protectors.
Oh yeah.
Great.
I'll watch it again, and I want to watch it again, and hopefully it stays in theaters longer.
I agree.
I need to watch it again to understand what was going
You
on.
need to watch it about
And to actually
15
watch
more
it.
times. If you watch it 15 more times, I think you'll get the whole movie.
Oh, also, I was really confused with the dusty guy, the Dusty Man, and there's like a
The
Thanos
Sandman?
guy.
No,
Sandman
wait.
was awesome.
Wait, the Dusty Man. This is the
Oh man.
It's the Sandman. It's the Sandman.
Amazing
Yeah,
Spider-Man 4.
You reminded me of Groot.
Groot.
But with stuff on him.
Groot. What? Yeah, Sandman. He was in the third Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire.
Before my
just
time.
go back and watch all the movies.
No, but you know what? I've seen all Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, but
then you would have known the Sandman
I don't remember it.
instead of Dust Guy.
Dirt Man. Hey, so what's the actor's name that plays Sandman? Do you know by any chance?
I don't know, but I know he's a television actor. He's been around for some time. He's good. He's a good actor.
And he hasn't aged either.
Yeah, he hasn't aged either.
The entire villain cast has not aged.
That's true.
Maybe it's all the makeup. Great makeup artists as well as computers.
That's true.
Yeah, they didn't help Toby. How do you explain that one?
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire the same.
Toby looked like an aged Harry Potter. Like I just
It's been like 15 years since the first Spider-Man came out, isn't it?
I don't know what happened with Toby, man. All I know is when he came up, I was like, is that
Are you serious?
get that man back into that verse?
No, he didn't. He didn't. Okay, wait. Let's get an aged. Sorry. Okay. Woo! Let's bring it back a little bit. Okay, let me go into my review for a second. Let me do the bad, and then I'll finish it in the good, because there's more good than bad. What am I doing first? The bad. Okay. The movie started off very slow. Okay, in my opinion, it started off very slow. And I timed it, right? So I looked at the watch. I'm a nerd, right? So I timed it, right? It's about 35 minutes of the beginning of the film was just dragging. It was just a lot of like dragging, school and blah blah blah, Mary Jane, and then like it just dragged. But once he hit the bridge, right, and then out comes Dr. Octopus, right, and out comes the Green Goblin. Then I was like, all right, now here we go, right, and that picked up for about 10 minutes. And then it went back to going slow again. Like I thought we were progressing forward. But as soon as the Spider-Men and they were kind of getting together, of getting the villains together, and Doctor Strange and all that started happening, that going forward kicked it into like super gear, right? My nostalgia kick went through the roof at that point. To see all of these characters together, because you said that the audience within the area, they reacted off of Andrew Garfield more than they did Tobey Maguire, and that's true, because I heard it too. I think it's because it was a younger audience, so they may have been reacting because they know Andrew Garfield closer than Tobey Maguire. I mean, that's a possibility. Now, Andrew Garfield, I never really watched those films. I didn't really like that they rebooted a franchise literally years later. Like, how do you do a reboot or whatever? So I wasn't a big fan of the Andrew Garfield, but I will say that they did a good job of carrying this sort of pain inside of him. I think that Tobey Maguire did not look like Tobey Maguire in it. And I think it may have caught a lot of people by surprise, because it definitely caught me by surprise. I couldn't understand why he couldn't get fit for the role. I mean, he probably had about maybe 40 minutes screen time, maybe 30 to 40 minutes screen time. That's enough screen time to say, hey, look, I'm invested in this film. Like, why don't I do my due diligence? And actually, I'm getting paid for this. Like, let me hit the gym. He's not young, like old to not do it. The thing that they didn't do, which they could have done, was do this old man Logan thing with Spider-Man. If you were pushing that this was an older aged Spider-Man, worn out, like he had been doing this for so many years, then that would be great. And they kind of hinted to that a little bit, but I think they should have played to it a little bit more. To see Andrew Garfield come in through a portal and take off his mask, I'll be honest, I don't know if it was myself or the fact that the marketing team did such an excellent job of keeping the spoilers down for so long, or was it just myself that I was just tuning out? But the fact that I didn't hear not one thing, see one picture, not one clip, like, and I heard that there were clips out there of showing all three Spider-Man and stuff like that. I heard about the rumors, don't get me wrong, but not one picture I saw, not one video I saw of them. And I thought that was a great job, either by marketing or by myself, to keep that away so that when I watch the film, I can actually enjoy the fact that this was happening. I knew that the villains were going to show up, and I didn't even know that Willem Dafoe was going to be in the thing. I didn't even know. I knew that Green Goblin was going to show up, but I didn't know if Willem Dafoe was actually going to be in the film. And I commend them for holding it down for the way that they did it. See Tobey Maguire come out. And to see all three of them, like, there were scenes where they were like posing together. There were scenes where they were all three together. Like, I just thought that was so freaking cool to see. Willem Dafoe and Alfred Molina work in the same negative context that I gave Tobey Maguire for not preparing himself for the role. I give nothing but super praise to veteran actors like Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe for putting in the work. Like, these guys are theater trained actors. Said, okay, I'm going to take this role and I'm going to make sure that I look the part for the role. Willem Dafoe is the oldest, I think, out of every one of them. And this man was fit as hell. Like, he was doing fight scenes. Yes, I'm sure there's stunt doubles, but he was doing the fight. You could tell he was fit in the suit. Like Bobby said, like, this guy stole the show. And then Alfred Molina is also a theater actor. He wanted to make sure that he looked like his old self from the film, and he did that as much as he could. Yeah, he gained weight, he's older. The two biggest villains in Spider-Man comic book is, in my opinion, Green Goblin and Doc Ock.
Absolutely.
So fitting, apropos, that these two are also the two best actors in this film, and two guys who actually committed to doing this. You know, Jamie Foxx as well, he did a great job, and all the other characters, well, they did a good job. Andrew Garfield, like I said, I mean, he surprised me with some of the moments. I thought that was really great to see as well. I didn't understand that all of a sudden they zapped Jamie Foxx of all of his electricity, and all of a sudden he's a nice guy. For everybody else, it made sense because they cured something. All they did with Jamie Foxx was take all of his energy away. Like, how does that change his personality? Like, he was a jerk. Well, so that means electricity makes him an asshole. Like,
Power did. I think Power did, and they took his power, so it humbled.
So he took his power. Yeah, I mean, maybe that. But my nostalgia kick was through the roof. I thought it was freaking awesome to see all these guys. I did not like that Aunt May had died. I didn't think that made sense. I think that if they were gonna make Aunt May die, then they should have brought in Uncle Ben, you know, somehow. In the Spider-Man universe, even in all the other universe, they had somebody, you know, when Uncle Ben died, they had Aunt May. By the ending of this film, the costume, the fact that he did it himself, the apartment was very 2000, like, it made little hints to the 2000 Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Really enjoyable. I love the nostalgia. And so when it was started, I was at a 3. Like, you know, when it was slowed down, I was like, this is not going well at all. But once it took from the middle of, you know, the second act or whatever on, that made me go into 4 to almost 4.5 level. So I'm gonna stick with the 4. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 pocket protectors. This is probably the first time that each one of us has given a 4 for
a review. Now the world would end.
What's happening?
I think we're spending too much time with each other. I think that's what's happening.
Virtually. I mean, we just met for the first time in the theater, right?
Kudos to the film. The film was good.
And I agree. I would watch it definitely again.
I definitely need to watch it now that I've heard both of your reviews.
Yeah. From what you've seen, you still, you know, gave it a 4. So
she gave it a 4 with only watching 30 minutes of the film. And then we had a cool little end credit of Venom, where he got zapped out of the multiverse but left piece of the Venom behind. So who's gonna be the Venom? You know what? To be honest, what would have been cool? Just wrap your head around this. So Tom Hardy gets zapped away, but another Tom Hardy walks into the same restaurant and gets the Venom onto him. So now you get to keep Tom Hardy as Venom. It's just not the same Tom Hardy. You know what I mean? That way you could keep different movies or whatever. So like, I thought that would be cool. And then of course, the last end credit was a trailer to the Doctor Strange multiverse.
I don't get the part where Doctor Strange is now the villain.
He's a powerful man. And so good eventually switches.
What I did love about the trailer for the multiverse Doctor Strange is that finally we're going to see the power that is the Scarlet Witch. For those that know comic books, for those that know these storylines, Scarlet Witch is quite possibly the strongest mutant. She is the daughter of Magneto. She, in one of the storylines, which is House of M, correct? Where she makes a statement, which is no more mutants. Simple statement, similar to Thanos' snapping of the fingers. She does no more mutants. And just like that, the world, mutants are just gone. This is how powerful she is. And she was introduced in the franchise. You know, I saw that she was kind of powerful, but I was like, oh, they're making her off pretty weak. But as more and more, and this is how smart these guys are. You know, this is the intelligence they have. As more and more movies come on, then you start to see her power, you know, coming in. And it's not just the intelligence of the executive producer, it's also the intelligence of the directors.
I really hope this will happen because now we're going to have another female lead. Again, I'm not worthy, but I just wanted to show everyone very quickly. I do have an original Scarlet Witch. This is done by Sean Crystal. Not worthy of accepting this present, but this is the original artwork from him. I love
the way he illustrates. Yeah.
This is issue 13, I believe. Sorry, issue 14, page 13.
Incredible.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's great artwork. It's a great concept. It's a great step in the right direction for Marvel. Create more context and base. You know, we get that nice little second spoiler at the end of the movie, and it's Doctor Strange that's looking for help, and it makes me connect the dots. He's looking for help for himself, and he needs to go to the most powerful being besides him.
And how awesome is that artwork, by the way?
Oh my goodness. Shout out to Sean Crystal.
Yeah, Sean Crystal, thank you.
Wow. That is our review. Who would have thought? The BackSpace Nerds, 4 across the board. It's the multiverse of 4s. The multiverse of 4. That's why I'll do an echo.
Bunch of nerds.
Yeah, we are.
That's it. That is our review. That is BackSpace Nerds. We have heard from Sandy Kirkman, who fell asleep half the movie, but gave it a 4 anyway. So who knows what it would be if you saw the full movie. We heard from Bobby Torres, who ripped Tobey Maguire, but loved Andrew Garfield. He loved him. Right. He thought there was a great redemption. And whereas he didn't believe that Tobey got his flowers, he believes Andrew Garfield did. And he caught his Mary Jane, his Gwen, in another multiverse. And then he tried to cry. And then you heard from myself, where I loved the fact that Willem Dafoe was the man, as he usually is. And
the fitness,
so freak. When I saw him on the screen talking to his own helmet, that's all he needed to do. He already had stole the show from that point.
It's true.
He's the man. Once he turned around and I said, oh shit, Willem Dafoe is in the movie. And he started talking to himself. I was like, this man is in the movie.
Have you noticed he's got a lot of teeth in the movie? Do you think that's real? Do you think that's real?
Spider-Man.
He's got at least 40 teeth up the top.
Because he talks like this, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like,
Awesome.
And then he's like this, and then Spider-Man. It was great. What was awesome is the scene where his spider sense was tingling, but nobody, not even the audience, could figure out what the hell's happening. Like he's walking, and he's just like walking around, and like something is off, and he's like, and then he flings his web at Goblin, and then he's like looks at it, and he's like, yeah. You're like, you got me, Spider-Man. You know, like
love that.
He's great, man. Yeah. So for myself, Sandy Kirkman, Bobby Torres, we all loved Spider-Man. Bobby, give us your handle.
Yeah, it's comicbooks_N_art or Packpool TCG.
Sandy, hit us off.
Sandy Pants or BackSpace Nerds.
And what's your TikTok? You want to give that or no?
2 Andy Pence.
That's all around.
Try to keep it consistent.
Oh, okay. And then for myself, it's Anthony Pizarro _ It's my name. And that's it for this episode. Movie review, Backspace Nerds. We will see you in the multiverse future.
NerdZ out with
NerdZ
the
out.
Z.
With a Z.
I don't know.
No, I think this whole gummy thing that Anthony did, it was a good idea.
Anthony said, hey, I bought gummies. I bought gummies.
Copied her jeans, her shoes,
call, man.
I bought gummy bears.
everything you were trying
call.
to do, she's already done. Did it
Damn
better,
good call.
and she did it with a Diet Coke in her hand. So, read what your mom did.
Was it 2 hours and 2.5 hours later?
I'm awake.
Yeah, she's awake.
I woke
Backspace
up.
Nerds. We're out.
We're out. Spider-Man out. No way home. We're going home.
NerdZ out with the Z.
Is that